Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of WWE Universe Mode for WWE 2K16 right here on the FanBoyPotion channel. Thank you so very much for the reception on last week's episode. You guys are really enjoying the little storylines that are starting to unfold within the whole picture. Of course, we've got so many exciting things going on right now in the Universe Mode itself, including the fact that we are building two Payback, where we already know what the main event will be. It will be Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the world title. That's going to be a huge deal. And the rest of the card is very much still undecided. I mean, we know that Daniel Bryan and Dean Ambrose will also be going to war for the Intercontinental Championship, so that will be intriguing. But other than that, we'll see how things unfold, and hopefully maybe today that picture will become a little bit clearer. So we kick things off with Seth Rollins against a local talent here in the area, and very weird decision here by Triple H, who comes out. Seth Rollins, of course, demands a huge match to prove himself, and Triple H says that you need to be punished, which was bizarre, and he says that your punishment is going to be that it's going to be a long time until you get anywhere up the card. Seth, you're going to be opening matches for the next month. Every match, Seth Rollins is going to be competing against a local talent. And don't get me wrong, sometimes there's a huge upset that can arrive from the local scene. But Seth Rollins made quick work of this guy here. So I'm not sure how this is a punishment. But at the same time, you do have to think, look, a man in Seth Rollins' position wants to be put up the card. He wants to get close to the main event position so that he can then take advantage of the fact that he is currently ranked number 3 in the world title picture, and so that he could challenge for the world title again. If he is facing competition that is unranked, it's going to be very difficult for him to ever rank up. So I do kind of understand the logic of Triple H, but that is a really scummy thing to do, especially to someone that he considers his next biggest, whatever. My goodness, why am I stumbling over my words today? Best thing, whatever it is. He is definitely not treating him in that manner. And then, ladies and gentlemen, in John Cena's open challenge, out comes Jack Swagger, but what would you know if it wasn't the one and only KO making his presence known once again? These two had a heck of a match last week, and tonight KO gets involved in John Cena's match. He says, "I've freshened up, and I want a rematch." John Cena did not answer the rematch because, of course, he was wrestling Jack Swagger, so KO decided to stick around, watch the match, and at the opportune time, he struck. And he was able to go ahead and allow and help Jack Swagger get the victory. Again, the history books will definitely read that Jack Swagger is victorious over John Cena, which is a huge deal for Jack Swagger. So he is slowly but surely building up some momentum. Then Kevin Owens has his own competition. John Cena then went ahead and returned a measure of payback against Kevin Owens after what he was able to do to him during his match. However, KO was able to dispose of a local talent, Jim Taxi, in quick manner. Similarly to earlier on, we saw Seth Rollins do so. But John Cena charges down to the ring after he was checked up by doctors and cleared to continue competing. He charges down into the ring, delivers the attitude adjustment. Kevin Owens able to actually run out of the ring and outside of the arena at that point. And I think that whatever's going on between these two, the match that they had last week and what transpired this week, it's definitely not over, ladies and gentlemen. It is certainly not over. And finally, Sasha Banks gets her hands on Nikki Bella. She's told her, you know what? You want to do this? Let's do this. One-on-one, no interference. On Raw, if I win, you give me a championship match at Payback. Sasha Banks does exactly that. She pins the women's champion, and she is declared the #1 contender. Nikki Bella is absolutely furious after this match, creating a bunch of chaos at ringside, tossing chairs. It was a nightmare to deal with, but wow, is Sasha Banks impressive. I am very much looking forward to that match, especially with how good Nikki Bella looked against Paige at Extreme Rules. What will this match be like? It's going to be insanity. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the main event of the evening. It will be in the tag team division, as the tag team titles are actually defended by the champions Goldust and Stardust against the challengers. The returning challengers, previously champions, the New Day. They invoke the rematch clause, they get the rematch, and they demanded for it to occur on Raw because they want to be defending their titles at Payback. And that's how confident they are. We have a different team composition this time. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston were the ones that lost the titles to the team of Stardust and Goldust. And now it's going to be Big E and Kofi. Xavier Woods has been banned from ringside due to the previous interference that was caused. So this is going to be an interesting match. I think that the odds are even, and we will see how things go here tonight. They're planning up ahead there, and here comes Stardust and Goldust. And there he is, entering first, one half of the tag team champions. Of course, the one and only Stardust will be accompanied by his brother now from Shattered Dreams Productions. It is, of course, Goldust. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The tag team gold is on the line. This is a big, big deal. We have a championship match right here on Raw, so this will be intriguing. The tag team division has been thriving in the last, I'd probably say, few months here. And definitely thanks to the New Day, but also thanks to these guys, the Primetime Players, Lucha Dragons, Usos. It's been a stellar division, and I don't even know who is the next number one. Currently in the rankings, I believe the Primetime Players are ranked number 3. So we have the champions. Sorry, they're ranked number 2, I guess, technically. We have the number 1 contenders are the New Day. Champions are Stardust and Goldust. And we then have, of course, the Primetime Players. So if we go by the rankings, those are the next contenders. So we'll see if they will be getting the challenge, either New Day or Stardust and Goldust at the Payback pay-per-view. So here we go. Let's get this thing started. Of course, Big E, a big believer that Stardust and Goldust simply got lucky. Right off the bat, gets tossed into the corner here. Now Big E with a big counter. Oh, and runs him over like a freight train, does Big E. I do have to admit, I think that the best in-ring combination, I guess, let's put it that way, of the New Day, I would personally say, is Big E and Kofi Kingston. I think they've been the most successful. They are the best combination of power from Big E and then the speed and agility of Kofi Kingston. They create a really, really good dynamic. And don't get me wrong, Xavier Woods has definitely proven to be a very, very solid competitor. I just think that for the task that they have in front of them in the form of Stardust and Goldust, this is a much more favorable combination for them to utilize, because I think that they need a powerhouse to deal with Goldust's power moves, and Big E can do exactly that. He can eliminate and ground Stardust, and then in turn also negate or at least balance out most of the maneuvers that Goldust can deliver. And now here comes Goldust, and this is the encounter that I was waiting for, because these two went to war last week on Raw, if you remember, and Big E pinned Goldust, of course, with help from Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. That's why Xavier Woods is banned from ringside. The champions demanded it, and in many occasions, not always, but what champions want, champions get. And in this case, they certainly did get what they wanted. Beautiful back body drop there from Big E, who now sends Goldust into the corner. And Goldust eats a big right hand from Kofi Kingston and then delivers a big one of his own. Oh, nicely done. Good maneuver there from Goldust, who's got Big E in a little bit of trouble early on. Nice shots from the champions. That tag team gold is definitely fueled and very, very interesting fire in this division. And look at this now. Big E finally with a tag, allowing Kofi Kingston to come in, and look at that. Kofi Kingston definitely speeding up the pace of this match real quick here. And he's got Stardust in big problem. Uh-oh, Kofi's going up top. He's going up top, and what's he going for here? Elbow drop. Oh, high risk and low reward in that scenario. Quick counter, though. Rolls right through it, tries to go for another maneuver. Can he nail it here? He's got him up. and he gets it. Nicely done. Beautiful suplex delivered there by Kofi Kingston. I do have to say, that was pretty impressive. And now look at this. Beautiful series of sequences. The cover, the 1, 2, 3. Wow. That was close. That was very, very, very close. Uh-oh. And Kofi Kingston rubbing it into... Oh, quick tag. The quick tag by Kofi Kingston. I mean, by Goldust. I think that was a big mistake by Kofi sending Stardust into that corner. I think he was trying to rub it in the face of Goldust, trying to play a little bit of mental games. But you know what? When the titles are on the line, maybe that's not the time for that. Don't get me wrong. If there's one team done an incredible job of entertaining and goofing around, it's the New Day. But you got to remember, when those championships are on the line, it might be a long time until the New Day gets another shot. If they lose here tonight, and look at this, though. Wow, referee not paying attention. He was very, very focused on Kofi Kingston. And look at this now, Goldust trying to get a hold of Big E, sorry, not Kofi. And he's got him this time. But Kofi Kingston is ready to fly, and he takes down Goldust. My goodness, what a series of events. Goldust messes up a couple times, not able to follow through and get his revenge on Big E, but then he gets it. And then he also eats a big splash right to the face, courtesy of one Kofi Kingston. So that was excellent work by Kofi. And look at this, though. Oh, thought he had him up for a powerbomb there. Seemed like a pretty dangerous position there for a moment. Quick tag. And in comes the powerhouse, Big E. Quickly, he's got him up and throws him right down. You can see that was not easy. Goldust is a big, big dude. And Big E makes it look easy, but it certainly is not. And look at this right here. Just trying to tire out Goldust, sending him outside of the ring, back inside. What's he going for here again now? He's got him in the corner. And here's some tag team wrestling here from these two. What are they going for? And a nice back body drop. Look at the elevation that they were able to get on Goldust. Of course, not minds, I guess. In this case, it's two bodies are better than one. Able to get way more offensive power on that. Oh, great torque. But then the counter from Goldust quickly gets the tag on, of course, his brother Stardust. Oh, big clothesline, though. This time, Kofi Kingston was there to anticipate what was going to happen. Sends into the ropes. Nicely done. Look at this maneuver from Kofi Kingston. Wow. What an exciting sequence there. And Kofi's planning some big here, potentially. Uh-oh, counter, though. Stardust is not going to have any of that. Shot after shot by Kofi Kingston. Quick takedown. Beautifully done there by Stardust. And now beautiful delivery by Kofi. And the clothesline. Uh-oh. What's he going for? He's setting him up. He's going for it. Trouble in paradise. Good night. Stardust is down and out. Hook of the leg. 1, 2, Big E runs in the ring to break it up, and 3, new champions, new champions, new champions. Wow, that was surprising. Kofi Kingston turned up the heat. I mean, don't get me wrong, Big E was very impressive in this match as well, and I would say so was Goldust. Stardust had a very, very hard time getting going, and it was definitely noticeable throughout the entire match. And even early on right there, I thought Kofi had him. I think even Goldust was shocked. You could see him kind of try to go into the ring because he didn't really think that his tag team partner was in trouble. Clearly he was. And then bam, that trouble in paradise. Right in front of Goldust, really delivering a statement. I do have to say, if I'm looking at that footage, it certainly looks like to me, especially when Goldust bounced there, that Stardust's leg bounced off the bottom rope, which would incentivize by the rules a kick out. So interestingly enough, the referee didn't notice it. That's the problem. Sometimes these referees make big mistakes that cost people a lot of money, a lot of their careers, and that's a pretty huge mistake there by the referee, because technically speaking, the New Day did not win that match via the rules, of course, if the referee was paying attention. Now, again, I didn't even notice it myself until we saw the replay, so credit to the ref in that sense. It's something that you really have to be down there and in the moment realize it and adjust. But at the end of the day, congratulations to the New Day for becoming tag team champions once again. I'm sure we're not going to hear the end of it, probably ever, but it definitely creates an interesting position now going into Payback, because who challenges for that gold? Of course, already right here on SmackDown, now that we're moving on to SmackDown, on Friday night, we've already seen throughout the week Cody Rhodes and Goldust going out on their Twitter, on their social media, posting that they both want a rematch. They both consider that since they became champions, they have a rematch clause that need to be activated. Now, again, for a rematch clause to be active, you do need to have one successful title defense, which they did not. That was their first title defense, but they believe since they never lost the match due to the referee's mistake, they deserve a rematch at Payback. And, of course, to that reaction, we saw the Primetime Players being absolutely furious because they've said, we've been waiting in the wings, we've beat both of these tag teams, and we have not gotten our shot. So we'll see how things unfold, but a very, very interesting situation in the tag team division. In our opening contest of the night, Daniel Bryan comes out and is added to a triple threat match with Bad News Barrett and R-Truth because he felt furious that he did not have a match here tonight. He felt that it was absolutely ludicrous for him to not have a matchup. So he gets added to the match here in the triple threat. He is able to get the victory in a very impressive fashion. And he says, don't you worry, Dean Ambrose and I will go to war again. My expectations of him are different now as a competitor. I know what he's capable of just to defend the title. Of course, referring to the low blow that he suffered last week. And he says that it's going to be a very physical match. And I certainly do believe him in that sense. Nikki Bella once again suffers a loss to Naomi. And my goodness, is Sasha Banks playing mind games with Nikki. All it took for Sasha Banks was to hit her music as Nikki Bella was setting up for that elbow. Nikki gets flustered. Naomi is able to once again take advantage. Gets the pin. That's 2 weeks in a row that Naomi has pinned the women's champion on SmackDown. Be it or not with the assistance of Sasha Banks, but she gets the job done. And that's very, very impressive because you got to think that Naomi is right up there. I mean, it's got to be Nikki as the champ, number one contender, Sasha Banks, number two, Naomi, number three, probably Paige, followed by Natalya. That's kind of our top five in the women's division. Then we move on to Tyler Breeze, who he demanded a rematch with what he called the ugliest beast the world has ever seen, which Bray Wyatt took as a bit of a compliment, to be quite honest. And he gets his rematch. And unfortunately for him, it was just not enough. His effort, once again, comes up short as Bray Wyatt hits Sister Abigail, pins him, and then puts out a huge threat to Cesaro, who, of course, later on tonight in our main event will be facing Luke Harper in a steel cage match. He says that no matter what happens, we will win. I don't know what that means, but I guess we will get to find out later on. Intensity is building up between champion Dean Ambrose and Daniel Bryan after their confrontation in the ring here tonight after Dean Ambrose loses to Neville. The Intercontinental Champion loses, of course, by countout, so got to keep that in mind. But he does suffer a loss to Neville after he is distracted by the actions of Daniel Bryan, who was just simply on the outside. Dean Ambrose just wanted to get a piece of Daniel Bryan. Those two go at it, get a little bit physical there. Then, of course, the security guards separate them. But man, is this becoming a heated rivalry. These guys do not like each other, and they will go out of their way to let it be known to the other man. And then in our main event of the evening, of course, that matchup does have to be changed, unfortunately, since we do need to have Cesaro competing. Well, not unfortunately. Fortunately, Cesaro's awesome, and so is Luke Harper. So this is going to be a heck of a match, I'm sure of that. I mean, the match we saw at Extreme Rules was awesome. Well, simulated. But that was a great match. And then now we get to see a rematch. Except this time, of course, Cesaro has Luke Harper in the ring in an enclosed ring via a steel cage. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm completely going the wrong direction for characters. I was not paying attention. So this will be a really interesting match. I'm very, very excited to see how this one goes because, of course, it is a steel cage match. So you would have to believe that the Wyatts are not getting involved in this. That's a pretty safe assumption, I would think. And Cesaro said that he will dispose of the Wyatts one by one, however long it takes, until they are gone, and then he can continue pursuing the Intercontinental title because he wants the gold. The problem is that the Wyatts feel like he doesn't deserve it, and they've made that known on several occasions. And here comes Cesaro. Ladies and gentlemen, this thing is gonna get physical and quick. These two guys are very, 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 very strong performers. And here comes the freaky and terrifying Luke Harper. One of the most bizarre members of the Wyatt family, which is saying something because they're all bizarre. And here comes Luke with those eyes. They are terrifying. Very lifeless. Steel cage is coming down, which means that, of course, we are ready to get underway. And look at this. Cesaro has been waiting for this moment. He lost to Luke Harper before. He's lost to most members of the Wyatt family at this point because of the rest of the Wyatt family in most occasions. I have to say, historically speaking, he was winning most of those matchups. Again, the history books will read that he lost officially, but by the fashion in which he lost, I definitely would say that he was on his road to victory, and then the Wyatts would get involved over and over and over again to the point that now he finally earned his shot against one of the members of the Wyatt family in Luke Harper, and this is a steel cage match. Now keep in mind, Cesaro called out the entire Wyatt family and said that any one of you could be locked in there with me in the steel cage match, and it was Bray Wyatt who sent and volunteered Luke Harper as the man that will take care of the job, as he said earlier on tonight after his victory against Tyler Breeze. But he did say we will win. Whatever that means, I don't know. But so far, it's looking like a pretty back and forth matchup between these two. Oh, nice. Goes for that running uppercut. Gets countered, though. And now delivers a counter of his own with the neck breaker. Beautiful delivery there by Cesaro. And you got to admit, like, Cesaro was definitely probably qualified for that Intercontinental Championship tournament, but he never got going because of Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt took him out of that thing with the assistance of the Wyatts. So I'd have to say, if it was fair and square, no other involvement, one-on-one, mano-a-mano, I think that Cesaro might be Intercontinental Champion right now. Now, again, I don't want to take anything away from Dean Ambrose, because clearly that's a very big sore spot for him. When Daniel Bryan brought it up tonight, that was really what triggered Dean Ambrose to attack like that, was when Daniel Bryan said that you got lucky, and that was it. That snapped Dean Ambrose, which he's already a lunatic fringe, as you know, but that took him over the edge. That was too much by his account. Of course, he feels like he won fair and square with the dirty deeds against Ryback. Many feel like he got lucky. It was a last-moment kind of counter. I have to say, look, you can't get lucky with a finisher. You hit it in the right spot with enough power, you got the victory. That's it. There's no luck in that. Was he losing the match prior to that? Absolutely. I think that's a pretty safe bet as well. So, all things considered, right now, let's focus back in here on the main event contest, because it's been a heck of a physical match already, and Cesaro has started to pull ahead, which is something that I think many of us thought would happen. I mean, all credit to Luke Harper. My goodness, what a super kick. Wow, and look at this. Luke right away trying to get out of there. And that shows you which man wants out and which man wants to stay in there for the long haul. Oh my goodness, look at this. Just ragdolling Luke Harper, which is not something that I thought I'd ever be saying, unless if maybe Luke Harper was wrestling Big Show or something. And look at this. Oh, nice shoulder tackle. And he gets him up again. Beautiful guillotine lock. And then the suplex delivered with authority. Just an absolutely powerful, powerful delivery on that suplex by Cesaro, who now follows him in. And the belly-to-belly suplex as well. Wow, what an impressive showing by Cesaro already. He's got him up and the uppercut. Knocking those few teeth that are left in the mouth of Luke Harper out with that uppercut does Cesaro. He sends him into the ropes and the back body drop. My goodness, Cesaro is just not letting Luke Harper breathe. And I know for a fact that the Wyatts have been held backstage. They're not allowed to even come to ringside. So I'm sure that Bray Wyatt is going crazy back there, seeing a member of the Wyatt family get absolutely decimated here by Cesaro. My goodness. This is a ruthless side of Cesaro we have never seen. I think he's had enough dealing with these Wyatts. Look at this, shot after shot after shot, sending Luke Harper into the cage with complete power. My goodness, look at that. He is just ragdolling him over and over and over again. My goodness, enough is enough, Cesaro, come on. And Luke Harper is completely out of it. Look at him. He is practically lifeless. And here comes Cesaro with the uppercut for a good measure. And I think Cesaro has completely even forgotten about the fact that this is a match. At this point, it's about getting revenge and retribution for all that the Wyatts have done. And unfortunately for Luke Harper, he is just the face on that body that is the Wyatt family, so to speak. He has been sent here as the sacrificial lamb. You know, the Wyatts talk about the black lamb, sheep, I think, Braun Strowman, correct? And in this case, Luke Harper is very much the sacrificial one. And Cesaro has definitely finally got his hands on the Wyatts. And he is not letting go, that's for sure. It's a fair and square matchup. And Cesaro is, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Cesaro this fired up. Cesaro's always been a guy that has seemed to come up just a little bit short, especially when the fight was for all the marbles, so to speak, historically speaking, in his career in the WWE. But that is not the case with this feud with the Wyatts. He has said that it is his time. He has to. He's not getting any younger, and he's got to make a run for it. He's got to make a run for the top titles in the WWE, and he's going to start with the Intercontinental Championship. He believes that the competition for it is incredibly steep, and if you're watching Dean Ambrose and Daniel Bryan, you'd have to agree. So in that respect, I definitely understand where he's coming from, but I also would like to see at some point Cesaro probably compete for the world title if he can achieve the goal of the Intercontinental Championship, of course. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Uh-oh. He's got Luke in trouble. Sends him into the ropes. Oh, and a collision of heads. Both men were thinking of the same move, I think. Oh, and Luke Harper ragdolls Cesaro back down to the ground. 1, 2, and a quick kick out there at the end. But wow, Cesaro got rocked by that maneuver. One move, and Luke Harper able to deliver quite a bit of damage. Uh-oh, Cesaro's got him up, though. And you got to think that at this point, Luke Harper literally just sometimes goes off of instinct. And there it is, the neutralizer. Hits it once. Oh, my goodness, he is not done. He's going for it again. And that's a second neutralizer. And he's got the cover. Hook of the leg. 1, 2. Did Luke Harper just kick out of dual neutralizers? Wow, that was impressive by Luke. I guess he knows what the punishment or how upset Bray Wyatt might be with him, but Cesaro cannot believe it. Oh my goodness. As much as I thought Cesaro was physical before, look at this. Oh, that might have been a very bad decision by Luke Harper. I think she should have considered just staying down, because right now you've got a very, very mad Swiss Superman flying through the air with elbows delivered to the heart of Luke Harper over and over again. And look at this snap suplex delivered with authority. And you can see even Cesaro's out of it. That sequence required a lot of energy out of Cesaro himself. He's very, very tired there. And look at this. He's got the cover. And look at this. He stops the pinning predicament himself. Wow. That was interesting. I guess he's just simply not done with Luke. I think he might have had him there. I don't think Luke Harper was able to kick out of that elevated pinning predicament. But unfortunately for him, Cesaro was just simply not done with him. Cesaro might be exhausted, though. He has really, really given it his all in this match. Sends him into the corner. Uh-oh. And now it's a counter by Luke Harper. Eats a big elbow. And Cesaro sends him into the ropes. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. This is not where you want to be if you're Luke Harper. Oh, my goodness. Head first, shoulder first. And just about any other soft tissue flying into that steel cage. Oh, good counter, though, from Luke. Nicely done. Gets the headlock. Nice and quick here. But Cesaro able to quickly get up, create a little bit of distance. A couple of shots here to separate themselves. I'm sure that at this point, every body part of Luke's hurts. So I'm sure that was a pretty simple delivery by, oh my goodness, Cesaro. Again with authority. That was just brutal. And he's got Luke Harper up. Gets him up for a third neutralizer of the night. My goodness, what a match so far by these two. Counter by Luke Harper. I'm not sure why Cesaro just did not go for the pinning predicament there. I think he probably could have had it there. I think maybe he's just simply not done. It's simply not enough. After everything the Wyatts have done to him. I mean, to be fair, he's definitely going down to their level. Oh! Miscalculation by Cesaro. That might have been a big error as he gets sent into the cage. Uh-oh. That might have been a big, big mistake. Oh, and Cesaro again able to create a separation and get that running uppercut. Delivered right to the temple and chest. Sorry, not temple. Of one Luke Harper. And look at this now. He's got the cover again. One. And once again, he lets off. It's like he goes for it and then decides against it. It's like it's just the frustration. It's been built up for so long. I think at this point, Cesaro just can't let it go. I mean, he's gone through 2 months of constant attacks by the Wyatts. So now that he finally has his chance here, I mean, look at this. We've got referees outside the ring all screaming at him to end the match. I mean, at this point, I think we all want to see the match end. I mean, even after everything that he's suffered at the hands of the Wyatts, this is a very, very ruthless Cesaro. Uh-oh. And Luke Harper might be setting something up here. Oh my goodness. Luke Harper every now and then is able to muster a little bit of offense, just as he's doing here. I mean, you can see he gets a couple of decent shots in, and don't get me wrong, sending Cesaro into the cage is definitely an effective maneuver and all, but it just seems like to me that Cesaro is just able to kind of deliver on a quicker succession and just able to get out of harm's way due to the fact that he's been able to deliver a lot more damage in the early get-go, and Luke Harper is about as tough as they come. Oh, nicely done, though. Beautiful counter out of that uppercut. Man, Cesaro might have made a big mistake not taking advantage of the opportunity to win this match earlier on. Cesaro counters. Oh, nicely done. And he's got Luke Harper up again. Luke Harper is just completely out of it. But I don't know how many times I've said that already. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's trying to get him up. Luke Harper's using the ropes to get up. Uh-oh. Countered. And now he's got him up. Sit down slam. Nicely done. And it's Luke Harper now on the offensive. And he's just trying to get out. Even Luke Harper finally admits defeat against Cesaro. But Cesaro is not done. He is just simply not done with him. Oh my goodness. If you are the Wyatt family, I am sure Bray is just furious backstage right now. There it is. Another neutralizer finally, the half Nelson, the cover. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That was, ladies and gentlemen, a showcase of a lot of pent-up aggression by Cesaro. He was furious at the Wyatts. And whatever Bray Wyatt meant by "we will win" certainly didn't mean he wasn't talking about tonight, because Cesaro put on a clinic. Again, Luke Harper, every now and then, I think emotion was the reason why Cesaro was making a lot of mistakes in the latter half of this match. He was so emotional. He was kind of making a lot of irrational decisions. But Luke Harper was able to capitalize on those openings. But you saw there, even at the closing moments, Luke Harper ran. You know, the Wyatts come on the screen and they always end their promos with "run." Well, tonight it was Luke Harper that ran. He was running away from Cesaro. He was trying to get out of that cage from the animal that we saw come out from Cesaro. And Cesaro just delivered over and over and over again here tonight, with neutralizer after uppercut after neutralizer after uppercut after neutralizer after uppercut after neutralizer. Gets the pin, still stays in the cage, of course. Very smart, because I'm sure that the Wyatts want to get their hands on that man right there as soon as they possibly can. But my goodness, was that impressive by Cesaro. A very, 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 very physical showing by the Swiss Superman. So there you go, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this week's WWE Universe Mode episode. What a week it was. We are just a mere 3 weeks away from Payback. So, of course, the pay-per-view is definitely shaping up, and we'll see how things go at that pay-per-view. Payback was something that Cesaro definitely had here tonight against Luke Harper, and in part, I would probably say the Wyatt family. That's really what he wanted there, and he definitely got it. So a very, very interesting series of events here on SmackDown, that's for sure. A heck of a week. Hope to see you guys here next week as we continue our road to Payback. Don't forget Daniel Bryan, Dean Ambrose, Intercontinental Championship at Payback. We will also see, of course, the headliners, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, collide. They will clash in the middle of that ring to go on ahead and decide who will be walking out as WWE Champion. Last time their match was interrupted early and midway by Seth Rollins. This time, there will be a winner, and I wonder which man it will be. As always, have a fantastic day. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye, everyone.